Well, hello everybody, my name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks preview. Today we have a tank which we already had a look at it, but well, to make it fully complete I want to look at it again. The AMX 65t Tier 8 French heavy tank. And it will be the first chain of tanks which are coming to the game, which lead up to the new Tier 10 heavy tank of the French tech tree without an auto loader. And I have to say, stay tuned for the new videos, for the other videos. It's really an interesting branch to have. Anywho, let's start with this tank. 1550 hit points secures it to have a rather decent amount of hit points for tier 8, suiting it around the IS-3 level. The engine has 1000 horsepower, weight of 56 tons and a power to weight ratio of 15.38 is in my personal opinion really good. It will secure that those tanks are fast, well maneuverable, and they will be decent enough for ramming. To get you a little bit of a glimpse how this could feel and how you could compare it to that, we'll have a short look at the AMX 50B when I could find it. There we go, AMX. And another tank, the Liberty, or its counterpart. As you can see, Liberty is slower from the power to weight ratio wise by 1 HP to ton ratio, and the 50B is much more better. So if you have the Liberty, or if you kind of know the Liberty or had reviews or videos watched, it will pretty darn feel like this tank. Especially, the Liberty has even worse soft stats than the tier 8 counterpart. This is kind of important to know in my opinion. You should see that those tanks, well, the AMX Liberty is right now the best comparison for this new tree. But I'll go in depth with that with the other tanks of the tech tree. Anyway, 40 kilometers top speed again is a great value, -15 is also not too shabby. Full traverse 25 degrees per second and 27 degrees of third traverse is decent enough. The terrain resistance with 1.5, 1.7 and 2.3 is rather not that good. Compared to the Liberty, as you can see, it's still better. 1.5, 1.7, that's the same. Yeah, it's exactly the same, excuse me. They just rounded it up in here. The fuel range, in my opinion, is rather bad. 370 meters is really not a good fuel range, especially, well, for a heavy tank in general, in my opinion. Like, it could be definitely better. You could look up other tanks like the T-34, which got a nice little fuel range buff. Yes, I really do like my 445 meters fuel range on tier 8. I have it with my T-34 because I use optic. I just need to wait for it to load, and there we are. There's 380 meters of fuel range with good enough cruise skills plus the consumable. You have everything you needed. Get your binocular, get your great fuel range. See, 418, we need more with cruise skills. Anywho, radio range no one cares about. Now we come to the more important part. When everybody talks about those tanks, it will be about armor. Because, well, there should be fast tanks with nicely punching guns and good frontal armor. Well, does the tier 8 one has good frontal armor? On first glimpse, yes. In the second thought though, the frontal hull armor doesn't look that great in my opinion. Yes, it is a pike nose, but it is, as you can read, only 100 millimeters thick. And I'm also pretty sure that it won't be as good as the one of IS-3, because the IS-3's one is pretty darn bouncy. I think the best to compare it with is the AMX 5120, which has a 90mm front armor, and we have 100mm more. Oh, there we go. There you can see how this tank roughly is when it comes to hull armor. Yeah, sure, the pike nose is rather strong and such, like in a 46-degree angle, as you can see, but yeah, it won't do much. The most important thing for this tank though is its not honestly ugly looking turret. As you can see, it is sloped, plus it has a really big red position, and this rep position here is 250 to 220 millimeters thick. The only weak spot being the cupola with what it looks like a 180 millimeters of armor. I'm pretty sure that the tank is not yet into the game, even though it is in the game for quite some time already. Have a look. AMX, nope, it's not in the game, fortunately. We can't look at the damage model. But yeah, as you can see, the turret armor is pretty darn good, and this is also what is kind of important with those tanks, because they are actually, in my opinion, probably the new E5s, because they have such good turret armor. And what do you also need when you have a good turret armor? You should have good gun impression to use such attributes. And what do they have? On both guns, we have 8 degrees of gun impression, and this is, in my opinion, something which is remarkable good. And well, now it will get rather interesting when we look at it. We have 2 different guns. We have the 120mm D1203 and the 100mm SA47. I really hope though that the SA47 gun will be transferred from the AMX 5100, because well, there we go, it's this gun. I hope it will be the same, well, the same module type, because otherwise we would need to again go through the pain of getting those guns. Yes, the 50B has a different gun. I do hope that the 5120 has the same though. No, okay. It kind of looks like that we will have, like just as an assumption, we have to grind a new 120mm gun, and there are 2 more guns to come. So we certainly have to grind through them, which is kind of sad. But well, how does this tank feel with those guns? Let's have a first look on the 120mm gun, because so far the only heavy with comparable stuff is the T32, which is exactly the same, or the Defender, but the Defender is just... Don't think about this tank, it's stupid. 400mm of damage, 515 damage, and 212mm of AP pen. 325 with APCR, like, that gun certainly looks, just from right now, like the best gold shooting gun. And I have to say, it's a little bit sad to know that those guns have such bad penetration. Yes, the 5100 has the same penetration as with the 100mm gun. Well, it is the same gun, but knowing that there are, yes, 218 is not a lot for a heavy tank. Sure, we have the M6A2 and the Chrysler K OPF and such, but still, it's not feeling that great. The Defender has a penetration of 225, which is still better. The VKOP has 220, which is still better. Just the T34 really stands out, and I think the IS-3 also has a little bit more. Yeah, 248, which is a great value, and 225. As you can see, those tanks have certainly a little bit of issues with penetrating, and there I have to say 325mm of premium penetration, that is a little bit, yeah, ridiculous. And from the name, it will be APCR, which is great in my opinion. I don't even think the 50B has great penetration with APCR. We'll see right now. No, it is the same. Okay, 325. That's a lot, especially for a tier 8 tank. But well, the DPM in that case is not that good. It's 1813, 13 seconds reload time, 0.34 accuracy is actually pretty good, but aim time is pretty darn meh, 2.5 seconds. Roughly 2.6 when we need to be honest. The 100mm gun on the other hand looks quite appetizing. 300 damage, 232mm of penetration, 200 DPM more, and 9 seconds roughly reload time, and well, 0.32 accuracy, but has longer aim time, but the gun depression stays the same. If you know that you feel or you have experience with boom and zoom tanks, like if you know how to play the T34, which is certainly a formidable tank right now after several buffs, I pretty am sure that this tank will feel great. 4.17 he has. This tank 4.5, yes. It will be basically a better T34, just a T34 cola is not that exposed and it's pretty darn strong. Well, there we go. My personal opinion, this tank might be a lot of fun to play. It depends solely onto the soft stats of the gun. The soft stats are the same as on the Liberty, which is pretty darn okay in my opinion, but other things like the armor of the hull is pretty meh. The turret on the other hand is pretty good, yes. And now, like, that's my big problem is, dude, premium fighting gun. It has even a better DPM than the T-34. I just want to see what the Defender's DPM is. That's roughly the same as the Defender. Pretty darn interesting. Speaking of the T-34 is so out of the game of 1,600 DPM. But well, that is the tank. It has 4 people in it, which will be also important because the later ons have less. And I'm thinking that's like my personal suggestion, or not suggestion, what I think. The crew layout will be the same as the AMX 749 with the commander, gunner, driver, radio man and loader, and it will be the same as the FCM 50T. So people which have the FCM 50P, I think, dreamed of that day where they finally can use that radio man, because since then you could never use it. You had just to have it. Excuse me, I didn't have a loader. There we go. You always had to carry it with him, and you needed a loader, otherwise you couldn't play this tank, which is kind of sad if you think about it. But here we are. Now it has its gun, or it has its loader again. You can use it as soon as you get to the tier 9 and maybe the tier 10 machine. We will watch at that in a later video. As usual, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I'm fast enough for you. And the news came yesterday. I didn't have time because Oktoberfesting. And well, I had a good birthday. And the last thing which you might need to know, the giveaway is up and running, is still for some more hours going. So for American peeps, you still have your chance. You have 11 hours to get into the giveaway to get yourself a great little tier 5 tank. Good luck for you. I will draw the winners tomorrow on Sunday on the 1st of October in the evening, my time, Central European summertime. Good luck and talk to you all later.